Well, good morning. We're gonna try something new here. Gonna try to do a daily morning walk around doing chores. I don't know what you want to call it, but we had a meeting last night and we decided, hey, we're gonna try to put out a video. We're gonna try to at least do every day, you know. And like, okay, well, what do we do every day? Well, we do chores every day. So that's what we're gonna film. And already this morning, I could tell that one of the children didn't do their chores last night because there's a tiny pig. Tiny pig, what are you doing? Come here. Come here, you pig. This is the yard. There should not be... Come here, tiny pig. Come here. There should not be a pig in the yard. Scoot, dogs. What are you doing, tiny pig? Oh, yes. Yep. So that's our pet pig. That's Tiny Pig. Little story on Tiny Pig. So, our county fair used to do a grease pig contest where you could catch a pig. And our daughter was so excited to get to finally do the grease pig contest. And then she got COVID. This, been a couple years back now, and got really, really sick, so she couldn't do the grease pig contest. So her big brother entered the contest, and he caught a pig. He brought that pig home, put it in a cage under the porch of our old house, and the next morning he gets up, he's so excited. Chloe hasn't even seen the pig because she's been asleep, she doesn't feel good, and he's like, I'm gonna go check on the pig. And Faith and I both told him, we're like, hey, don't open that gate or he'll come out. And sure enough, he opened the gate. He came back a few minutes later. He's like, I need help catch the pig. That pig left. We saw him for a while, like signs of him. We tried to catch him, never did get him caught. So the next year they were ready to do the grease pig contest again. Both kids this time, they were very excited. They weren't going to leave any gates open. Fair decided they weren't going to do a grease pig contest anymore. They said they had some complaints that it was cruel, yada, 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 yada. So they did a pig raffle. Now, Faith and I both said, no, we're not going to buy raffle tickets for a pig, And, well, my wife's mom, so my mother-in-law was in town and was at the fair with us, and she was like, oh, well, I'll buy the grandkids, raffle tickets. So she bought them each a ticket, and wouldn't you know it, Joshua got his name pulled. So we have a pet pig. We do not get to eat Tiny Pig. And his name is Tiny. He weighs like 280 some pounds now, but when we got him, he was itty bitty, and you could carry him around, and we had him broke to a harness to lead him around and everything like that. But whatever. So he's a pretty good pig. He really doesn't hurt anything. In fact, like when we spill grain over here, he goes over there and cleans it up, and he wanders around and just kind of wanders around. He's supposed to just wander around the barnyard. But he can crawl. Even as big as he is, he can crawl under fences and under gates and whatnot. So if his gate gets left open, he will go out and explore. And since we moved here, he hasn't tried to run away in a while. He did run away one time and started taking off down the highway, and I had to get on the four-wheeler and bring him back. But like you saw, I call his name and he pretty much just comes running. But this is why he got out, because somebody forgot to latch a gate, and he'll just come up here and he'll push this and he'll walk right out, and then he's home free. And yeah, he can get out. He can crawl under those gates right there. That's where he likes to get out. But since he doesn't really go anywhere, we haven't worried about it. But you can see this is where he likes to lay. In the wintertime, he will go gather grass and straw and all sorts of stuff, and he'll pile it up against this chute, and that's where this is Tiny's domain. This is where he lives. That's his realm of happiness. So it's kind of funny. to see him out here this morning. Oh, and here is some of Joshua's chicks that hatched. So he does have a rooster, and you can see him. There's two little ones, and they're taking off, following mama. The third one is over there. The white one is not supposed to be out. These chickens you see under the pickup truck, they should not be out. They're supposed to be locked up. But evidently he struggled with some chores last night, and I did chores late in the dark, so I did not double check to make sure his chickens were locked up. Oh well. Anyway, so I just turned on the water spigot here. I have a question. Does anybody actually have a hose that is fully functional? Or does everybody have hoses that have holes in them? It's ridiculous. I have tried my hardest not to run this hose over, and yet it still has a hole in it. So this is a bunch that we just weaned recently, and we have Richie tanks in the barn here, but these calves that have never seen a ball tank before don't know how to use a ball tank. So we always give them a water tank because they gotta have water, and we make sure that in the transition period they at least have this, and we usually have to fill it several times a day, especially when it's hot. It's been like in the 90s, and the feel like temp has been close to 100. So fill that up. It takes a while. So this is something that I just drug back last night. I don't think we have any videos on YouTube, but on my personal TikTok channel years ago, I put up a video of me building these. This is a 4-ton self feeder, and we'll go take a closer look at it here. But I drug that home last night because the feed that we're feeding these guys really can be fed on a self-fed basis, and it would cut down on a lot of labor. And honestly, we kind of forgot that these even existed, because I built 4 of these, technically 3. I built 2 that are this size, and then I decided to build one twice the size of this so that it didn't have, you know, the divider in the middle. So basically take 2 of these, slap them together, and that's what I built. That big one is extremely huge and was always hard to move around, and so I'm not sure how I'm going to get it here. But these other 2, they're only 8 foot long, 8 foot tall, and they're pretty easy. Like, I just picked it up with a tractor and set it on the truck, and then since the tractor's not here, it's at the hayfield, I had to drag it off with the feed truck. But it worked because they're on skids. So let's go take a look at this real quick. And the floors are extremely muddy right now and gross because of all the rain we've been getting. So the animals have actually been coming into the barn and hiding a lot, and so they've made an utter mess. And the tractor's not here, so I can't scrape it. But the gates are open. They don't have to be in here. They can go out in the pasture. They're not good for this. Is just where they got to come to eat. So anyway, so these self feeders. Yeah, it's just 2x4s and 3/4 inch treated plywood. The 2x4s are oak. So I have a bandsaw mill, and the reason we built these was because at the time we had found ourselves without a place to wean calves. So my wife and I went, and there was an old barn on our lease ground, and what we did was we went and built like a 3-acre lot around this barn with barbed wire. And we had some bunks in there, but we were like short on hay and broke as always. And my feed guy was like, I've got this TMR that we can make. He said it's got cottonseed holes in it, you know, got a whole bunch of good stuff in it. He said, and they're going to eat a lot of it, but he's like, you don't have to feed any hay, and with hay prices the way they are this year, it might pencil out. And so we ran the numbers, and we're like, that would work really well, but we didn't have a way to feed it. So I started pricing feeders, and guys, self-fed feeders, gravity flow feeders, they're expensive. Creep feeders, a lot of people call them because they use them for creep feeding, but I looked at it and I was looking at some of these wooden built ones, and I was like, I really like how this looks. I really don't like how this looks. I really like the ones with the canopies over them, you know, that cover the, you know, your trough. But I looked at that and went, you know, I've got a bandsaw mill. I'm already making lumber. So I spent a couple days and milled a whole bunch of oak 2x4s. I was like, these things are never gonna rot. Even if the plywood eventually degrades, we can slap a new piece of plywood on there. Like, I think we can do this. And so I've got the lid on this one at the moment because it was still outside, but we're getting feed delivered hopefully tomorrow. We're gonna fill this up, so we'll get some videos of that. But here's how they work. You know, they've just got a trough down in here, and this is on a slope, and then on the inside there's a, trying to make a picture here, there's a deal that looks like this on the inside. And so the feed just piles on top of that and then flows down into here, and it flows out of this gap down here. And that's all it does, and it fills this trough, and it works perfectly. We have also filled it with impact grower, which is the main, you know, 1/3 mix that we use, and it works perfectly for that too. Just a good deal. So we're gonna try it. If it works good on this group, you know, if they don't overconsume this product that we're feeding like they're supposed to, you know, they should eat roughly 12, depending on how big they are, 12 to 15 pounds a head a day. If it works well, I'm definitely gonna go get the other one of these and put it on the other side. That way when we get new groups in, we can fill that, and they're gonna cut down on labor. Yes, the calves are probably gonna eat a little bit more, but the cost of gain is gonna be better because they're gonna be gaining more. Well, actually, it won't be better, it'll be the same. But they're gonna be gaining more in a shorter period of time because they're eating more. These starter feeds that we feed have a ton of nutrients and a ton of goodies packed into them. So when you're starting them out, they're just gonna feel better. You're gonna get all that goodness in them. So I don't see how we could go wrong. But we're gonna try it out. Like I said, we're supposed to get feed tomorrow. We'll get that lid pulled off. We'll put the lid under the bar because we don't need it now with the roof. And we'll show you feeding this, and we'll see how it works. So make sure you stick around. Like I said, we're gonna try to start doing a little bit of a video every day. See how that goes.